I've had the XPPEN Artist Pro 24 for a little over a year and a half now, and in that time, I've had highs and lows. The tablet is amazing in a lot of ways, but it's also limited by poor software experience that I feel should not be an issue. It's unacceptable and breaks up the flow of painting, and has had me in such a bad mood that I just have to step away from my desk and relax and cool off and come back. The issues are so easily fixed, but for some reason they seem to crop up. You end up having to do tiny workarounds that add up over time. They kill the overall experience and just chips at you, making you just want to be rid of the thing and try another brand. These problems are only limited to Mac, but also PC. I have both, and though I stick to using it on Mac, the PC version has its own set of bugs and issues, which I'll not be covering here in depth, but let's start with the screen. So, the colors are acceptable. They won't blow you away, but the more important thing is the display is pre-calibrated to be color accurate. And with the screen size being 23.8 inches diagonal, it is a pleasure to draw on when working properly. There is little to no parallax, so it feels like you are drawing directly on the screen. I've come to appreciate this, and it is also a must for me in the future with other products. The panel itself is 60 Hz, though there is a bit of latency, it seems, which you'll notice if you're coming from an iPad or a Samsung tablet, but it's fine for what it is and what you're doing on it. But I wouldn't recommend trying to game on it, as the aforementioned latency can be distracting, especially in competitive games like Rocket League. There was a time where I was using it as my gaming monitor. My PC had died and I was using my MacBook, and well, it was just the latency was too bad to play on the tablet itself, so I ended up just playing games on my MacBook screen, which is only 13 inches. But when you're not drawing on it, it's 100% of the time being used as a secondary display, which is another bonus and does just fine for that. And as far as contrast, the display is nothing to scoff about, but it won't blow you away either. It's acceptable. The screen is made of plastic, and if you don't get a screen protector for it, you'll damage the screen. It should come with one, but make sure it has one, and do not use it. Do not use it if you don't have a screen protector on it. Trust me on that. It's very easily scratched. Seriously, the screen will scratch if you so much as look at it the wrong way. But on another note, all of these things are what you get when you go the budget route. Don't get me wrong, it is very good for the price. It is the budget king, and you'll be lucky to find something on par at this price tag. One thing I absolutely love about this tablet is the ability to output video from a USB-C port. This is amazing, especially for me, since I'm currently using a MacBook Air, and it saves me from getting yet another dongle, but also makes the tablet more versatile overall. So I like that. It's a huge plus, massive plus, definitely a win. At one point, my PC died, and it was before I had a MacBook. I remembered that it said it was compatible with Android tablets, and so I was like, okay, this is going to be really helpful for me. I could still draw, I could still use this tablet. But to my surprise, it only worked enough to say on the marketing that it worked. You can't use it to draw or do anything meaningful with when you're using it on an Android tablet. Or iPad. Well, okay, I can't say for sure on the iPad. I haven't used it on iPad as I don't have one, but my Samsung tablet, it just wouldn't work. It doesn't scale properly. You can't flip or adjust the screen. It's just unusable. You can use it as a second screen for your Android tablet, and that's about it. You can plug the USB-C into the Android tablet or phone and technically use the XPPEN to draw, but I don't recommend it. The app wasn't working properly for me, and the cursor wasn't aligned properly, and I just couldn't get it to work in any useful way at all. So technically it works, but in reality it isn't useful at all. It does have shortcut keys, and though I never use them, they do work. I just prefer to use the keyboard. I've been using the keyboard for so long now that it just feels comfortable to me. If you're a left-handed person, you'll have to redo the keybinds because they don't really work well for left-handed people. And another note with that is the software. Whenever you change your keybinds, it seems like it never fully saves your settings, and you have to go back and re-change them all the time, which is another annoyance that just further caused me to not want to mess with the software at all. A few things with the software is while you are painting or drawing, it will take control away from you, away from the cursor, and it'll move it to your other screen. Because yes, you have another screen if you're on a MacBook, or even if you have just a single screen, it'll take control away from you, and it will overlay the program screen onto whatever you're doing and reset it. And it is extremely frustrating. At one point, it was doing it every 1 to 2 minutes, On a lucky day, 5 to 10 minutes, and on an extremely lucky day, maybe once an hour. But it is a daily occurrence that you have to deal with, and the only workaround I could possibly find for this is to just leave the program up over top of whatever you're doing. Just make the screen small as you can, and make sure it's up over everything so that whenever it does take away from you, it doesn't make a line across your drawing or completely remove control and minimize your program. It seems to help. Extremely frustrating. I am so glad I don't have to deal with that anymore because I now have a Huey on, which I'll be making a review about. So let's recap, and I'll give you my final thoughts afterwards. The pros: screen size, lack of parallax, made with quality, good pen stability, budget friendly, and the single cable USB-C. The cons are a little bit bulky, nothing compared to the other professional tablets bulk wise, but still a little bulky. Colors and contrast aren't amazing, but acceptable. The software is buggy and sometimes doesn't work. They're not good at keeping up with product updates, and issues with Windows and Mac. If you have the funds, I would go with something like a Huion or a Wacom. I've used the screenless tablets of those and they feel amazing. And with the Huion, I have actually used a Huion screen tablet. It was a couple years ago. I had a 13-inch base model one, and it had a huge parallax, but the overall drawing experience was good, and I never had any such program problems, bugs, anything like that, so it worked out great. I haven't tried a Wacom screen tablet, though eventually I would like to try one and let you all know. Though it is Wacom, and we've all seen the reviews, I'm sure they're great. My final thoughts: a good, well-made product overall. I love that I can use just the USB-C to get video feed through the tablet. It's a must while working on a MacBook, as it helps to have less cords and dongles, though it isn't perfect and sometimes loses signal, and I have to remove the power and replug it in so it will pick up signal, and I'm unsure why that happens. I've not had that with any other products, so I'm assuming it's just the XPPEN again. They have their weird little kinks, but for the price, you're getting what you pay for. The biggest problem is the software issues. If those were worked out, it would be probably an 8 out of 10. Luckily, I think XPPEN is getting better with the software and haven't had as many issues as before, so that does seem to be an improvement. Let me know if in a couple of months you would like a follow-up video to see if they have resolved the software issues, because really, once those are worked out, I think this would be an amazing tablet, especially for beginners or people just trying to dip their feet into the professional art field. When it was working great, which it was working great at one point, it was amazing. I was absolutely happy with it, and then over the course of months and months, the issues would just start to crop up, and with each update, it would get worse and worse. Some updates, it works fine. Some updates, it just works horrible, and it's just a hit or miss. You never know if the update you're going to get is going to ruin your experience or not. So what I recommend is, if you do get it and you find a stable update, do not update from there. Keep it how it is. Don't update. Just use that one. Wait a while, because more than likely, the new update is going to ruin everything. It's going to reset your buttons. It's going to have the same bugs that it had before, and it's just not good to do overall. So find a stable update and then stay there. That's what I have ended up doing, and it's not perfect. I still have those issues that happen. Sometimes it's not as often, but it's better than what it was.